First of all, I think your analysis was very straight line. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing funds.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go down that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got that.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Come on, Lord Taylor. That's good. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
okay,
an
it's good.
erratic
Mikhail
detective is Mikhail Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? Look, good, how you deal with that? You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Kingdom, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that. Hi there. Good evening from Georgetown, Guyana. Good night, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are looking at this program in different parts of the world. This is our Friday night edition of the Freddie Kissoon Show, in which we do a call-in program. The lines are open, the numbers are on the screen. We have a landline there, 231-2982, and then we have a WhatsApp number. Sharing the platform with me this evening, Charandas Prasad couldn't make it. Dharam Kumar Siraj couldn't make it. So if they cannot make it, we will ask other persons to share the platform so they can take your calls. We have with us this evening someone I've known more than 50 years. We entered UG in the mid-70s together, and I've known him since then. He perhaps is one of the most experienced political activists in Guyana. He has been around for a long time with different political parties. More importantly, the People's Progressive Party, in which when they won the election in 1992, he became a functionary in the office of the president of the PPP government. Then he was a foundation member of the Alliance for Change. Co-hosting the program this evening with me is Rajendra Besesar. Rajendra, thanks for being here. Let me just show the viewers how Moses Nagamutu thinks of you. He did his autobiography. Guess you know this is Nagamutu's autobiography. And here on page 123 is Rajendra, Moses, Kermaj Ramjatan, and Raphael Trotman. See that? That's Rajendra Besesar with the founding members of the AFC. Well, look, Rajendra, Moses could not have thought badly of you. When he did the selection of his photographs, he said, let me put Rajendra in this thing. So that's Rajendra Besesar for us. He is co-hosting the program this evening. That's his WhatsApp number. Call and ask Rajendra anything, your views on his politics, the politics of Guyana. So, as you know, if you're looking at this program, we do some preliminary discussions, then we open the lines. But if you want to call, feel free to call, and we will wait for to show you what we have to show you or what we have to discuss. So, The WhatsApp number for those in the diaspora, 654-5662. Let us show you, I believe there should be a jail term for cruelty to animals. There's no question in my mind. I would not even discuss it. I believe if you're so cruel to hurt animals that cannot speak, that cannot talk to you, to tell you what's wrong with them, there should be a jail term. Let me say this. I have no interest in formal politics. But if I ever was to be in part of a government, I would insist that there were laws for jail people for cruelty to animals. Let's show you what someone did to a lovely dog in Borby. So this is very graphic. So we have kind of obfuscated, blocked out some of the graphic aspects of the injuries. So if we got these photographs from Gobin Harbajan. Gobin Harbajan is one of Guyana's leading animal rights activists. He lives in Borbice, and definitely we will have him and Sarah on board to come and talk about cruelty to animals. So let's look at what Gobin sent us.
Apparently, some guy beat a dog and then chopped him up afterwards.
Yeah, sure. Look what a lovely dog that is. And a man beat that dog and then chopped it up. I think the police have him in custody, but he should be charged. That man should be charged and he should be jailed. So that's our video for tonight. Feel free to call in. There are a couple of other things we want to discuss. I started my academic career as a student in history, and I want to read something for you which has not been made public. Do you know Mr. Burnham, one of the most famous names in the Caribbean, and will remain one of the most famous or infamous names in the Caribbean for generations to come? Mr. Burnham was married twice and he had 5 children, in which some of them are quite known. Roxanne Burnham Garden, part of Roxanne Burnham.
Good night, Mr. Harbajan is calling in.
Oh, Mr. Harbajan is calling in.
Yes, good night, Rajendra Bissessar, Mr. Freddie Kissoon. I'm glad you touched on that poor, lovely animal from number 63 village, that pet dog by the name of Teddy, which was cornered in a yard and was hit at the head with a wood. And then an overseas-based Guyanese, Freddie, an overseas-based Guyanese who is in Guyana, took a cutlass and slit the dog's throat. Well, the woman is appealing to them that the dog is the lady pet dog over the road. They still do that. And when the owner of the dog made contact with me, was at the police station, the police outpost, and the police act swiftly and arrest the overseas-based Guyanese that he at the station. The commander confirmed that he's at the station, and charge will be instituted once a statement is given. And I'm asking that His Excellency the President and all other persons across the country who animal lover and non-animal lover to join with me, and we make sure we set an example for you people like this. If a man can sit, a grown man, a pensioner, the guy's a pensioner overseas, this guy is a cut a dog throat, what can he do to human being?
Well, we don't Virginia has a degree in law, so we have to say alleged. But do you have a photograph of this man that we can put it on the screen, and we will say alleged
perpetrator?
Do you have a photograph of that man, Harbajan?
No, right now he's in police custody at the 62 outpost, but that will be available on your next program, program on Friday.
do you know if he has been charged as yet, or he's still at the station?
He's been arrested and he's currently at the station. The owner of the dog, I think he currently in Georgetown. One of the owner and the wife is here. So when he come back, he'll stop in the station. That's Raj Lake, Ram and Sherry. I mean, they take it personal because they bought that dog and it's like a family. And they are very devastated. They could have taken matter in their own hand, but the Calm Head and Collective, we advised to go to the police station, get a statement. I spoke to the station sergeant, one of the CID, and finally the commander responds via text.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy? You have a dog. When people see dog in the yard or this and that, they chase them, they take up a stick and threaten them. Why you would want to hit the dog in the head and then slit its throat? And I mean, you sure this guy is not a... Well, I don't want... this man is not a person of unsound mind?
I was told he's well educated and he haven't built a nice house in the area, but he go overseas and come back. And then he walk man if you throw the dog away. But then, and then the vet, Freddie, the owner of the dog, because when you make police report, you have to get the vet to make make his
medical report
analysis what caused the death, right? And he confirmed that the dog was hit in the head and with multiple lashes, and then the throat was slit.
Well,
who have trust in animal, eh?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that after he's charged and he goes before the court, he could still leave Guyana. I wish the United States would deport him, but he didn't commit any crime in the United States. But maybe the guys are on song mind. I mean, crazy people can build house. Crazy people. Do you know how many billionaires in the United States are crazy? Well, he crazy. I don't think.
What they do is not.
I don't think Mr. Trump is of song mind.
He has his workman and another guy corner the dog. You corner the dog. The poor dog is hollering, but it's not him alone. But the one hit him with a wood and he finished the job. This is a mindset of people, right? And these people, I sure he live in the United States. I thought people go over there and get a little more better and come back. By doing this now, I think what I hear from true sources that he's offered to give the people them back a dog. I tell the people no.
He offered to give the people back a dog? If your pet,
yes,
you can't replace a pet.
Okay, Mr. Harbijan, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming, Harbijan. Let's take this call. I still haven't discussed the things I want to discuss. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir, you're on the air.
Well, listen, see me, I am an accountant, right? And I've been tuning into your show for quite a while, and I noticed that you have quite an audience. So I'd like
you have to dismiss it.
Hear your personal opinion.
Just a minute, yeah.
Just hold.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask about why is overtime currently being taxed in Guyana?
No, you have to dismiss it and let them call again. Yeah. So sorry about that. Sorry about that, viewers. But we're just new to the program, so yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to ask why is overtime currently being taxed at the rate of what is being taxed?
I don't know about that. I can't say it. Do you know the volume too? Just a minute, sir. You have to excuse Ginger. He's new to the program. Well, when you have a call, you have to take it off and let them call again.
Right.
Okay. I would think Ginger could come in here. I would think your tax on based on what you earn. So even if it's part-time or overtime, it's you've earned that. So that's the most I can think of.
Right, man, but most Guyanese people come from a lower income or a middle income household. They already given 8 hours to GRA. Why must they give more than 8 hours? Like, that's how I see it.
I think that the threshold, I hope in the next budget the threshold goes up. I don't think people who work for $200,000 should pay taxes. The world and Guyana have gone beyond that. It's just like 55 years of retirement. There are some things I think as we get older and as we get richer, as the country gets older, the country gets richer, those things should be things of the past.
But there's another issue with regards to taxes. It is my opinion, a bachelor earning $200,000 and a married guy with 4 children going to high school, they pay the same tax. When I was growing up, each worker had an allowance for wife, children, and so on.
But that will be changed now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And I recall I was on a program with Carrington some time ago, and I was talking about this, and and the president decided to terminate me. I lowered the volume in it.
Did you lower the volume?
Yes. Okay, we'll continue that discussion. We should take it.
But
we should finish with it.
No, hold a sec. When the call comes in and there's someone who just dismiss the call.
No, what I'm saying sometimes if you finish with this thing.
No, but when someone is on the line and the call comes in, as normally we've been doing that for the past 2 years, just reject the call. Right.
Okay.
Okay, so right.
So you sure? I'm glad that's going to happen because it's not fair to the worker with children and everything else not to have some. Each child must have an allowance because it's very costly to send a child to school, and maybe because of that, not having that, you're depriving a child of maybe a lot of things.
Well, I think I'm glad the president has announced that you will get income tax relief. Parents will now get income tax relief. Could you lower the volume of it? No, this we'll have to just take Okay, sorry. Thanks for coming through. Bye-bye. You can lower the volume of that thing?
I did.
I can ask the operator to come in. Robert, could you lower the volume of this phone, please?
Look at the volume, yes. Some or the other.
Sorry about that, but you have to understand, this is Ginger's first.
The volume is still at the bottom.
The volume is.
Maybe, I don't know if it controls. The WhatsApp.
How can you lower that
volume? The volume don't affect the WhatsApp or what? So
our operator.
Apparently, the volume doesn't control the WhatsApp call because I lowered the volume to the bottom.
No, but that is WhatsApp, but the phone rings.
Right, but what I'm saying, it's not controlling the WhatsApp volume.
It's not controlling.
See what you can do about it.
Our operator will. Sorry about that, but.
Yes, well, I am hoping, well, we discussed that, as I said. Myself and Carrington was on television years ago, and we raised this issue about the taxation and giving allowance for each child. So I'm glad to hear that the president is now moving in that direction.
But you know what? Right. So we've solved that. We've solved that problem. When the phone rings, it wouldn't make that kind of noise, and Ginger can answer it. But so call us. In the meantime, there are a couple of things I'd like to discuss with you. This is a book by the title Forbes Burnham, The Life and Times of the Combat Leader, by Professor Lyndon Lewis. And it's the first time this book came out this year, and the first time we knew that Burnham had, apart from his 5 known children, Roxanne Burnham Garden is named after one of them, Melanie Damishan is named after one of them. Roxanne Burnham gave an interview to the author, Professor Lyndon Lewis, and he said that Roxanne gave an interview to the author, and this is what Roxanne said. Contrary to the official count of Burnham's children, and in response to inquiries about children outside of 2 marriages, Roxanne noted, and I quote, "I not only have a sense of the existence of other children, I know most of them because my father made it his business to introduce me to them." She went on to say, quote, "There are 13. In 1969, he sat me down and told me about the other children. I think I am really the only daughter that he left into that side of his life. They were all girls." So if Burnham had these children in the 60s, apart from his 5 known children, there are 8 of them. They must be in their 60s now. The thing is, no one, I read everything that comes out in the press. I read voraciously. And nobody knows, anybody out there who knows anything about Mr. Burnham or the 8 children. They were scientists, they were university professors. Could you call me at 614-5927 and let's hear something about this man, the achievements of these other 8 children. I am interested in this because of a historian. I would hope that somebody out there would know something about those other 8 children. They've got to be in their 60s now.
Okay,
You've got to call yet.
Good night.
Hello, good night.
Yes, you're here.
Put it down.
This is Freddie Kissoon show, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, wondering I just want to make a brief comment.
You have a bad connection. There's an annoying noise in the background.
If you have a TV, you need to turn down the volume.
No, I don't have nothing to,
Okay.
right now we got blackout, so we don't got nothing here.
Okay.
So listen, I want to make a brief something, because this problem is going on up the highway, East Coast Highway, the 4-lane highway.
Which problem?
The problem is them bridge, they got 2. You know, the bridge like you stay right on the road drop or something. I don't think this bending up the tire bad, but sometimes me, I as a canter driver, and anytime I pass over them bridges and this body something, and I realize, you understand, you can't afford, you bend up your tires, them body. This thing got to be addressed, buddy. A few times now I call in for them look into this thing. It's all them bridge from Montrose come down, till up East Coast, my brother. You understand? They got steep drop. You understand? Them things of weight, man, people can lose control like that, brother. You understand?
Okay, I'm from the
There's some things that I don't know why Ministry of Infrastructure don't look into them things and this man. Them road and they say I'm doing a very good job. They're doing a good job, my brother. That me can't talk bad, but PEP government, you know. But this thing is, man, they got to looking into them things. And they say, man, them things they just affect us, buddy. Money coming out the pocket, man. You could imagine what tired all last 3 months. You understand? This thing is not fair for we, buddy. You understand? This thing got to address, buddy.
Okay.
Next thing, I want to congratulate the president for the cash grant what he gonna give out. You understand? Some people are happy, some people dishappy, but I tell you, me happy about it. You understand? And God bless them. Just always bless them. But some people, when you hear that talk, they say, no, that's too little bit. I don't know what they want. Well, you know, you always find ungrateful people on this face and this world.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
I'm so grateful for it. You understand? Because I need it. Probably I'm going to buy some tire. Them bend up tire. This one we got on my truck.
Well, I'm from the East Coast also, and I can verify what you're saying, okay?
This thing terrible, my brother. This thing not easy thing, my brother. You understand?
And another thing is what is happening is that they should be monitoring what is happening on the road, because you have these sudden holes that are on the road. And when a vehicle hit, I got a couple of tires busted myself, hitting some of these holes in the road. So,
my brother, you know, I changed some ball joints recently. body man, and start singing again, you know, them thing this terrible. Them drop this other by them bridges, sharp. Them is sharp drop.
I know it. Maybe we should bring it to the attention.
Boss up your shacks.
Maybe we should bring it to the attention of Mr. Edghill.
Edghill, nobody now can talk to him. You understand? Nobody can talk to Edghill. You understand? We got to find other means how to get this thing proper fixed. You understand? Nobody, sometimes you call ministry of works, of public works. You understand? You give the complaint. Nobody not pay shit attention to it.
Well, maybe
you know what will happen? You know what will happen? When somebody got get them dead, when somebody got crash with this thing and dead, well then they will start see for thing. So this thing does work. If you can't do your work, like step down. Like give somebody else the opportunity. You understand?
Or the president should remove him.
Die hard PPP. I tell you, man, die hard PPP. And I don't like this shit where I go on.
No, what's your word, man? What's your language,
What's your language? What's your language? You're on here.
It get you on your nerve, cause let me tell you something. Them thing they say, you understand? It's not easy for maintain a truck, you know, man. It's not easy for maintain. If honorable you can't do what you're supposed to do, like just step down and so let them put up for something else, like become an ambassador or something somewhere. Okay. You understand? And give up those. You understand? Like he not good in those. You understand?
So maybe the president should take note of what you're saying, okay?
You understand? But when they're not good, you got to put them somewhere else to do things where they're good in. You understand? If he not good in that, you gotta go. Because everybody a complain. Everybody a complain, but the road too narrow. Then I got wing. They need shoulders on them road. Two vehicles can't pass on them road because it's too narrow, and he got full well. He got enough space for the pass.
That's quite true. That's quite true. I recognize that.
You see Luziknan Road. I belong to Luziknan Public Road and Billy. This main road. This thing got up to 1 foot drop. 1 foot drop. You understand? And then I say for come put little crush and run so that you can extend. You know, I will not need for the asphalt and body. Just throw little crush and run and compact them so two vehicles can pass clean on the road. You understand? He can't hear everybody.
You know, I wrote about this also because if you're traveling from Borbis or the Quarantine Road or the Linden Highway, there are no guidelines to guide you at night.
That one another thing. That is another thing. When the street light, remember, blackout, that's something not common in Guyana. And if you not got that you light not bright enough to catch you say you there, you done with that. Them guidelines help us a lot as driver.
They're absolutely correct. Edghill, I wrote 2 letters in the press about this matter, and he's not paying attention.
That's why he got to resign. Edghill got to go. That's why he must resign.
Well,
got to resign for any position.
He's not going to resign, and in this country, we don't have a habit of firing ministers. Maybe the president should start doing that.
If they're not good, they got to go. If they can't do their work well, they got to do, they got to go.
Well, the president has to look after
that. If he can't do your work, let him keep patos and see what he going to do it up.
Okay then, thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. And maybe we can try to communicate this again, maybe to the president and about your complaint, okay? Good, thank you.
Okay, my brother, thank you so much for that.
It is a fact. Just a few days ago, I went up to the UNAMCO from Kakwani. And I can tell you this much, from 0 kilometers to 55 kilometers is being maintained by some contractor, and from 55 to 110 is being maintained by Amirali. I have some issues with Amirali, but I would like to compliment him on the maintenance that he has from 55 kilometers to 110. But from 0 to 55, it is terrible. The bridges, there are holes. Just recently, a gentleman from the East Coast, he has a sawmill in the Enmore area. He went hunting and fishing, and they toppled because right in the bridge is a big hole, and almost every bridge you find holes in it. The government has given contract, but like they don't send anybody to monitor or to see whether these people are doing the job or not. And next thing you know, the call is correct. If that guy didn't dash away from it, somebody would have died. Luckily, this guy turned over with his vehicle, and it was a big vehicle, so he didn't die.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're on the air.
A very good evening, sir.
Good evening to you too.
The first thing I wanted to say is I wanted to thank the government for what they plan to do for our household people in our nation. That's one. Two, recently I saw that they have awarded 24 officers of the Ghana Defense Force for what they went through a training, etc. What's that? And that training was for 2 years. For 2 years, 24 soldiers, and was trained. I think that they should have a badge at least a minimum for every badge should be at least about over 50 to 100 for the 2 years training. I believe it is that's my personal opinion that to train 24 officers alone for 2 years is a very small batch that we're looking at, and the type of training and the time. I think that more should have been added to the batch that could be qualified for that for the service of this country. There's two. The final one is that a lot of things is happening currently right now, and we as Guyanese people, we know what's happening. Now, the finances that have been delivered around the country, etc. We have a people that as soon as some kind of money is being given, whether if it is school grants, whatever grant it is, automatically you see school bags would rise to $9,000, $8,000. All these prices jack up. However it happens, we don't know. I'm using this program to ask the government or the opposition or whosoever that when this money is being delivered, the people that is telling things, whether it's in the store or on the road, wherever, that this price should remain the same.
Wait, stop there, let me interrupt you. I wasn't aware of that. You were saying if the government give a school a grant, if they give children a cash grant for school, as soon as that is dispersed, people who selling school bags and school shoes, that the price automatically goes up, they jack it up? Is that what you're saying?
Automatically. If I tell you, I have 2 sons.
So they know people are spending, they know from the cash grant, the school cash grant, they know people have to buy bags, so they send the prices up.
That's what's happening.
I wasn't aware of that. You know about that?
This money that is being shared, I'm telling you, you can look. You go and get a cost, a book and write down what the cost right now. When the money begins to share, you will see what's happening on the market, on the pavements, and everywhere.
So
let me say this: it is very hard for price go down in this country. Very hard. When things go up, nothing comes down.
So when that cash grant of 200,000 comes, when you go in the market, after it is distributed, about a week after, bora, tomatoes, mangoes, and all those things will go up.
We'll suggest to people to take the money, put it in the bank, and don't use it immediately.
No, but well, they can't, if the bank won't accept it, they can ask you. You have to go back to the government
you have proof,
to get to show proof of
No, you'll have proof. They'll say it.
No. They come to your home. A vehicle come to you with a policeman, and they give you the money by cash.
I hope they don't do that, because next thing you know, some people get robbed.
Prior to that, I got one more thing, very important.
Now, this procurement laws that they have, I gotta go, I'll go right, for the benefit of you. This procurement laws they have, here was the laws. They said three bids. And when you bid 3 bids, I can tell you something. When you bid 3 bids, and you do the requirements, all the requirements, at the end of the day, when you heard about the project that is being given, it is far exceeding the amount of money that you bid, that you sent in your bid for. Why it is like that? And nobody, this was happening all the time. Look, they're not looking for low bid, middle bid, upper bid. I don't know what bid is looked for. I don't know who is the person is award these contracts. But I can prove it to you that when you submit your bid, whether if your bid is $25,000 and another bid is $150 and the other bid is $500, I can bet you it's either the 150 bid for 150 or the $500 bid. It's small bid don't matter. Why it is like that?
Well, it is also corruption because it's happening in the contracts, where on many occasions the person with far higher bids gets the contract. I know in one instance when one person got 48 million, another one 45, 43, 42, and the guy from Barbies complained to me, and I wrote a letter for them to sign and sent it to the Procurement Commission. And some action was taken, but the people were afraid to continue because they said if they continue, then they'll be victimized. And this is a problem in this country. The fear of victimization if you criticize or you go against whatever the government decides. And I've seen that happening. It was published in the newspaper, and you can see I don't know what's happening myself.
Yeah.
But people are afraid. I'm suggesting to contractors, please, do not be afraid. Go immediately, write a letter immediately to the Procurement Commission. If it happens.
I got some things to send to them and hear what they have to say pertaining to this matter. But the procurement laws of Guyana are supposed to be
stronger.
Strong. It's according to the Vice President, because he uses initiative to strengthen the procurement laws, the procurement ways, and I believe that we should get a better procurement results either this year or next year, already next year or already this the late part of this year.
You know, it is my belief that the NPTAB, which is a National Tender Board, that should be put in place in the same way the Procurement Commission is put in place, by X amount of votes, and it would be passed in Parliament with X amount of votes, and which means that you have more transparency. So in the same way the Procurement Commission is set up, it is my belief that the National Tender Board should be set up in the same way, so we'll have a lot more objectivity and a lot more transparency.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks for coming too.
This guy called it a long time. Good night.
Good night.
Yes.
Hello, good night.
Good night. We're hearing you. You're near.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. You know, the last comment by Rajendra Bisesar there made me almost puked. He's talking about procurement and strengthening the procurement. APNU AFC was in there and they violated all of the procurement laws. Awarded contracts with no procurement. Patterson go into Parliament, bypass the procurement.
Wait, Saul, please, make sure you don't get us into any libel.
Right.
No.
Just be careful with your words.
When you call people names, please say alleged.
I will try to avoid that.
Yes, sir.
Use alleged.
The hypocrisy of your host tonight is terrible. He's coming here to defend Rajendra Bisesar talking about procurement, and they were sitting in government and they violated every rule of the procurement law. Come on, man. Get serious. And you want to lead a party and you can't control a cell phone? The other point I want to make, I was very disturbed about that situation with that dog. But again, you know, Harbhajan and Bisesar, they're so concerned about dogs. These guys in government treated the sugar workers worse than dogs. They treated sugar workers and the Guyanese population worse than dogs. And today, I understand the empathy and the concern about dogs, and they're coming on this forum to talk about these things. Come on, man. The other caller called in and talked about the East Coast Road. I just came back from Guyana after the CPL. I saw the situation with these on the bridges with the road. But please don't forget that it was the APNU AFC who was in charge of that project, which the PPP started and left them in 2015, and that is the product that we have there. These guys should hide from the public. Bisesar and all of them in the AFC and all of these guys should cover their faces than to come on these programs to be total hypocrites to the population. The tears of sugar workers are still falling on these guys, so don't expect anything better. I'm really, you know, perturbed to have these guys coming out now from under the rocks to come and talk about democracy, talk about procurement, talk about corruption. He talks about corruption. Which was the most corrupt government since independence? It was the 2015-2020. Everyone knows this. So please.
Sir, I will respond to you. Let me say this. A defense is never to point your finger at another. It is not a defense. The fact is, 30,000 people crossed the floor from the PPP to the coalition because of the corruption of the PPP. Secondly, when they started talking about 34, Mr. Bisesar resigned from the AFC long before the elections and went against them. I had 7 television programs slamming the coalition for what they did, okay? And that is the fact. I am independent. I was personal assistant to the president when the PPP became corrupt. And let me tell you, Dalal Ramatar, in his campaign for the presidency, said the corruption was deep-rooted and he will root it out. So don't deny the corruption on the PPP. And don't tell me that people went against the PPP because of the corruption. That is allow you to finish. You attacked me, let me talk now, okay? Let me say this to you. I argued then and I'm arguing now that all I'm suggesting to you is that we should have greater transparency. Are you against that? I am saying simply the tender board should be appointed in the same way as the procurement commission. I am saying to you, people got $50 million bid higher than others and they got the contract. You see a building put up there of a school being built, 12 classroom, $360 million. It's ridiculous, overpriced infrastructure. It's the taxpayers' money. And when we speak about it, all you can do is tell us what the PNC did. That is not a defense. If you go to the court and you get accused of murder, you don't tell them Freddie Kissoon commit murder. It is not a defense. You're saying both of you are guilty, okay? Both parties are guilty, and that is why I'm independent of both parties.
I give you a chance, but you were in the belly of the beast, advocating and supporting the corruption that took place under
I was not in the decision making. I was not a minister of that government. I was simply a member, okay?
You campaigned for them in 20, and
of course, and I campaigned against them also when they did wrong things.
No, you're equally guilty of the damages
so
done to the
every member of the PPP is guilty when a minister commit corruption.
Listen,
every member.
Listen, Rajendra, all of your allegations of corruption, so nothing has been proven, and today you guys are coming with this.
Well, listen, the PPP has not jailed any of them neither. The PPP has not jailed anybody from your argument to hold.
Listen.
The PPP did not jail anybody from the coalition, so they're not guilty.
Pronounce on this. It is an active case in the court. Let the case proceed.
Oh, one person.
Unfortunately, it's been
come on.
For you to come here and come with your hypocritical approach to talk to Guyanese, you guys should hide from the public, my brother.
I criticize the PPP and I criticize the coalition. Both I criticize. I am on record.
You cannot be trusted.
And your president said he's going to renegotiate the crappy deal, and he did not. He promised, and he did not.
No,
all right.
You, the hypocrite hypocrisy from your opportunists.
You said what you have to say, and I said what I have to say.
For you and Harbhajan in Berbice, what you guys did to the Berbicians, you're from Berbice, you're from Kanji, he's from Topside. You guys have destroyed the working class of that country.
Hello.
Today, the tears are still on you guys.
The vice president took the money destined for the sugar workers and spent it somewhere else.
Can we take this call, please? We're taking another call. Bye. Thanks for coming through, sir. Hello.
Good night, Mr. Kissoon.
Good night.
What I'm trying to tell you, the guy we're talking about there, but the jobs and the procurement, right? You listening to me?
Yes, sir. You're on the air. Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying, they got the government good, but they got some people in the government, some RUs, some representative from the Prime Minister representative. And you know what these people saying? They could do anything, they never get knocked off. Yeah, so I mean, they said they could do it, especially in Linden. They got one is a Prime Minister representative, well, he don't know nothing. He's a manipulator and a fraudster. And I feel that the Prime Minister should look into him because they have a lady come at a meeting 2 weeks ago at Futuka House. And she said that...
just be careful and don't identify anyone. Or,
I'm not, listen, my friend, I just tell you what the lady said. The lady said if she didn't go to a meeting, they're taking out $4,000 out of she money, she walking for $40,000. And I tell you that is fact.
Well,
they should look in and get rid of these chaps.
Well, we are receiving a lot of complaints about that. Like, for instance, in one home, you might have the mother, the father, the brother, the sister. All of them get the 10 days work.
Well, we are being concerned with the 10-day work, but we concerned about if you go to a meeting, if they call a meeting, you go, they take out $4,000 out your money.
I heard about that.
Who this money going to?
I heard about that.
Yeah, Sammy.
So
they should get these people in the hands of the police.
They're forcing you to participate in certain meetings. That's a fact.
Just one thing. This thing should go into the hands of the police. And what I'm saying, all right, let me come up. The government, we are doing very good. I like what the president do and what he do, but we can't forget another thing. And I don't want this money. They said that this money going to pay out in check, and that is very good. Don't give people this money. They got a show and they light bill, they phone bill, and let this money pay out. Thanks to the government and the minister, the finance minister, Barrett Chagrin, and all, and I give them congratulations.
You all say thanks to the president. He's the president.
Yeah, I said thanks to the president. I love the president.
You know, I differ. It's our money, okay?
It's our money, but
it's our money, okay? But I want to say this, right? I am not necessarily. I'm thankful for whatever is given, yes, but I'm not necessarily in favor of this ad hoc decision-making to hand out money to the rich, to the poor, to everybody. I would like to see, for instance, when I was advisor to the Minister of Labour, I fought for and set up a poverty program there that is operating up to today, that is helping people because we discovered a lot of people were in need, okay? And that program is still operating. I would like to see a well-structured welfare program handled in a professional way, directing assistance to those in poverty. Now we are giving 40,000 to the children in school, but there are a lot of children who cannot afford to go to school and they're left behind.
No, you're talking.
So I would like to see a structured program, not when I feel like you give 200 when you feel like. And let me tell you something.
I continue.
I don't.
To get in the people in the communities to going wrong.
Right.
But some of them, when they go wrong, all what they're studying is to grab. They're studying for.
And you know, when the money was given out to farmers, some who were not supposed to get, and some who were supposed to get did not get. So it's ad hoc and it's corrupt.
everything, they finding a way for just scramble.
Right.
And you can't put, listen, the president know you can't put the greedy to feed the needy.
So I will prefer them to direct right now initially assistance to the 40% of poverty, the people in poverty in this country, and not necessarily to. I'm saying that the rich and they can do it out at this point in time. Okay, I will want to direct a lot of assistance to the single parent, to the pensions. You give pensioners $3,000 increase with a kind of increase in the cost of living in this country. That is ridiculous. And a one-time payout, look, I made this point one time. The president and everybody said they took away 200 measures that was put by the coalition. So they put $200 billion into the hands of the Guyanese people. But that didn't go to the ordinary people at the bottom. I will say, Mr. President, put back the measures. Is $200 billion. Take the $200 billion divided by 3,000 households, and each household will get $600,000.
All right. Next thing, Mr. Bissassa, what I would like to see the people in Georgetown. When you go to Georgetown, I see one set of homeless people. You got to try to get these people off the streets. What you going Barbados, you don't see all these things. We got to try to get these people off and get them in some home and let it clean up and let it thing. And even if the soldiers ain't got nothing to do, let the soldiers guard them. Because we got the truth, let the guard be listen one sign. The students just look so bad with these.
I know.
I'm telling you.
But sometimes.
But when I from the old school, like you made accustomed to them thing in Georgetown. I got a Camel RC in Georgetown. I ain't accustomed to see all them these kind of people sleeping on the streets. I just feel so sick how the drugs got them. Oh God. All right, thanks a million.
Okay, thanks for coming through. Bye-bye. You've got a call there?
Yeah. Good night, you're here.
Good night, sir. Good night, Mr. Delary.
No, I'm Mr.
And I would like to know the gentleman name aside of you.
You have Mr. Freddie Kissoon and Mr. Rajendra Bishasar speaking.
Okay. Mr. Freddie Kissoon, the man is beside of you. I would like to know exactly what is richness, as he's saying about richness. I mean, I don't go to high school. I never went to the high school. Maybe educated, but I can still understand what is richness.
Well
doesn't make people rich, you know. Money doesn't make people rich. It's how you live life. That is important. I don't believe in money and wealth. That is what reason why we are living bad in this world. The exact reason why we are living bad in this world, because of the material things.
Well, we could have rich culture, and so that's one way of using rich. But when we are talking of money, then we are talking of quantity of money, okay? We were not discussing just now richness of culture or richness in love or whatever. We were discussing the distribution of money, so it was specific to quantity of money, okay? But I agree with you. You can be rich in culture and rich in many other situations. All right? But
yes, I understand. But when you use such a word...
it's in context, sir. It's in context.
I understand that. But do you realize we are using the word people are suffering? Do you know how many people are suffering their own self? I am uneducated. Do you believe me? I'm speaking here. I am uneducated. And I have a business, and I can tell you, a lot of people are wasting life. A lot of people enjoy their life, sport it, party it, do everything. And when they meet a 40, 50 year, they don't want a future. You don't have a future when your age catch up with you, and when you don't have strength in your body to work and put things in place.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, go on, sir.
Yes. So that is why a lot of people are suffering. Look, you check these youths, them who are smoking. Do you believe the president or anybody is telling them to smoke? They have a choice. They choose wrong things. When you choose wrong things in this world, you will suffer. People are suffering because of the negligence. We own negligence. How you believe we commit sin? No, you tell me to commit sin. We commit to your own mind. We own thinking. It's two things God give us. Whether you choose bad or good.
So
and
it
if
is,
we choose bad, bad will come. And if you choose good, good will come.
so is it your opinion that all the poor people are bad people and they
I'm not
did it to
saying all
themselves?
poor people are bad people, but what you are saying, people are suffering. A lot of people are suffering. This cash grant is even what the government get to school. You check what parents are gambling. They'll gamble out the money. You check what this 100,000 was share, okay? See what parents of big people gonna gamble.
Well, I wouldn't.
Smoke it out, drink it out, party
Well,
it
I
out.
would want to
Next one, everything
I
hard.
will not like to condemn all the parents and put them
I'm
in that
not condemning
category.
everybody, but what I'm saying,
A few
what
might
you
do
are
that,
saying
you
is
know.
not right. Because let me tell you something. You are saying about corruption or PPP. Let me tell you, humans choose to be corrupt. Government don't tell nobody to do corrupt things.
Well,
Do you believe the government tell the police to take bribes?
well, the ministers are also human, you know.
No, I'm asking you. Do you believe the government is telling the police them to take bribes or the public servant to take bribes? No, they choose to do that.
But then we have to deal with it. We can use sting operation. We have to deal with
you,
it.
but there's nothing you can stop because you got to realize prophecy are fulfilled in this world. No matter how much development we get in this world, we will never ever get good. No part of the world. You please believe what I tell you. Prophecy are fulfilled. Let me tell you something. As I say, I'm a dunce. I always call myself a dunce. Listen to me very clearly. This education will be hosted for university. I'm not saying it's bad. I understand what I'm saying. But what happened to people in this world today? We are using education, but we are not using the 5 senses that God gave us.
All right, sir.
If as humans we use the 5 senses that God gave us the right way, we would never get corruption.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, sir. Thanks for coming through, man. Yes, so there are some people believe that everybody can become a businessman. And if everybody were to become businessmen, who would work, who would you employ? So the realities of the world is that it is structured in particular ways. Somebody got to clean the streets, somebody got to build the roads. Good evening, you're on to the Freddie Kissoon show. Let's hear what you have to say.
Good night, Mr. Freddie Kissoon.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, a few months ago they called about the Portland Hospital.
About the Portland Hospital?
No water. I think you and Siraj was on the program.
Yeah.
So I went back this week and they fixed it.
Okay, good. I'm sure Siraj is a good politician. I'm sure he would have.
I think he would have been exposed to right, so I could have thanked him, but okay, he could give him the nephew that it's good, everything was cleaned up. This was good. And there was a lot of water. You got enough. So yeah, I want to make one point about this. Yes, I was talking people are punishing in this country. You know, when you go all over this country, every business place, every workplace, there's vacancy. Vacancy for work, man, work, woman. So how people can be punished in a country where women are available? Maybe they're lazy just like he. They don't want to work. You know? He really wants to tell people don't work so long as they forgot them give money.
May I ask you a question?
You know?
If somebody
When we were a little boy, we were begging for work, we were begging for work.
May I ask you a question?
Now when I look at the young people, they don't want to work. You tell them, look around, they got work by.
May I ask you a question? Would you be able to live on $80,000 a month or $90,000 a month?
We work for nothing. We work for what people give.
Would you be able to live on $90,000 a month and mind 2 children?
We work for what people give you.
We need a living wage.
And now you are people are demanding wages.
We need a living wage.
People work. You ask them for work, people are demanding.
I mean, this is getting 1.5 million.
And you can work, you can make a living. Just like the call before you, his man things are done, his man work and he gets.
Can you live on $90,000 a month, sir?
You can work with one job. However, let's say I go there, I can work 3-4 jobs and make life. Why you can't make life in Guyana? When workers give it all over the place.
Okay, you're blaming the poor for being poor. That's okay.
Huh? You must be poor, but you can't
You're blaming them.
People are punishing Guyana.
Of course they're punishing.
Start punishing Guyana.
They are punishing.
Poor and punish is two different things.
They are punishing. They're children who cannot afford to go to school. They're not in school.
We went to school too. We went to school too, but we were poor.
No. They cannot afford to go to school because some males, they make the children and they abandon them too.
Who tell them to abandon them? Why they abandon
So
them?
the child, you can't blame the child. Okay?
You're not blaming the child,
So
but
we
the
have to
parents,
do
because
some.
they don't want to work.
We have to set up a system so that no child will be left behind. So we are giving 40,000 for the child in school. What happened to the child who can afford to go to school? Are you blaming the children? You're blaming the children? Come on. You made it. That doesn't mean everybody can make it, sir. Don't blame the poor.
The government gives you all so people so much. I don't please. I don't have a heart. Wait, man. Before you politicians,
But remember the guy said earlier about the businessmen? As soon as the people get some more money, the businessmen increase the price. The businessmen increase the price to get more profit and punish the people. All right? The other speaker spoke about that. The moment the people get a little grant, the businessmen jack up the price. They want more money. They ain't got enough? Come on.
This is their position.
Well, it is whose money? It's the people's money. The people deserve to get it. The money is there. It's the people's money. But the money is being given to cronies and friends and family in huge contracts. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Don't get personal, sir.
I'm not a contractor, sir.
You're allowed to have your say.
I was never a contractor.
Don't get personal. Let's keep it clean.
And by the way, I'm not a party hack. I'm qualified.
Okay, but you advocate.
I'm highly qualified.
Don't work. Government does your money, and if I use government, you vote for it, about your money. That's what you advocate.
All right, sir. All right.
Are you going to take the $200,000 or are you going to reject it?
Government never give me a cent.
You're going to take the 200? Sorry, will you take the 200,000 or you reject it?
No, if I give now, take it. But
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But what you all are doing is wrong.
All right, sir.
I don't want to tell you how.
Let's
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Okay, yeah. Thanks. Call in next week, right? Good.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Freddie.
All right. Bye-bye. Yes, I will tell him. He'll be here next week. Good evening.
Pleasant good night.
Good night. My co-host is Virginia Bissessa this evening.
Mr. Bissessa, good night to you, sir.
Good night to you, too.
First of all, I want to address a previous caller that was attacking Mr. Bissessa. I wanted to let him know that the PPP does not own Guyana, and the PPP supporters does not own Guyana. The man has a right to share his opinion and his thoughts. Freddie did that for quite some time. I could tell anybody. I think a lot of people might not know how Freddie stood up for people, not a race of people. No, Freddie stood up for all races of people for betterment in this country. Because I know under the PNC time, yes, that is a past. We passed that, and I can tell you, even Freddie stood up against the PPP. When they attack him, they throw feces in his face, they beat him up. A lot of PPP supporters does not know that. But Freddie was not attacking the PPP in any way that he don't like them. He was standing up for the people, for all races, and the poor people. Freddie was standing up for. So people have a right in this country to voice their opinion. And I know that the PPP government is not 100% perfect. You know, they're trying, and people must be allowed to see, typically the road conditions in this country, even though roads are being done and being rehabilitated, they are still in a terrible state. Because then you highway to the back of Eccles, it's like a scrubbing board. It's actually tearing your vehicle.
It's like a back dam. It's like a dam.
Right? It's like a dam. And that is the honest truth. And we must accept these things. We have to accept. And if you can correct these people and say, well, okay, listen to me. This rule is being done, it's not being done right. We must accept that it's not being done right. We must be able to be, we as the supporters of a government must stand up when they are doing wrong and say, hey, we are doing wrong. And if we do wrong, it would affect us, plus it would affect the country, it would affect the people. Not because we support a party, it means that when they spit in our mouth, we must keep swallowing it. Gone are those days. And I tell people, and we must have people to. We don't have an opposition presently.
You know what is sad? You know what is sad, caller?
You know.
If you make criticism, sometimes PPP supporters make criticism, but they cost you down. It's like you have no right to even criticize. And what is sad is that in this country, whether it's which one of the party, if you criticize, you're not for them. They will terminate your contract or they will not renew your contract. So there's fear in this country for people to talk, and that is sad. People are afraid to speak.
All political parties are like that.
Exactly.
You can't voice. You cannot voice. But, you know, somebody must stand up, and somebody must stand up and say, hey, you know, you're going down the wrong road, and, we need this to happen.
What they don't understand, they must hold their own party accountable so that the party will do the right thing and remain in power. That's it, sir?
Definitely, we must start that. As I support the PPP. I don't have a problem against the PPP, but I don't support everything they do. If they do wrong, I would stand up and say, hey, I'm a critic towards you doing bullshit. You know, because the road contracts that is happening in this country, it's terrible. Let me be honest with you, it's real terrible. And and people must comment.
And the Schooner Road is another one.
Must have a voice to speak. Now, let me address a previous caller again who talked about being uneducated. And then he started to criticize people and what they're doing with the money. If we don't have spenders, his business would not exist. This is another arrogance with people. If people like myself and others that spend, his business will not exist. He would not be involved in a business. We must have spenders. And people would spend in all forms. If you wait for Freddie to buy a beer, well, you won't sell beer because Freddie don't drink. But right, you can have others who would buy a beer and support your shop. So this kind of arrogance of attacking people would spend the money what they get in the way that they think it's possible they should spend. People should be allowed to spend. And we need to stop attacking each other and start looking in a direction, because let Freddie tell you, I can tell you, we have suffered a long time in this country. We have done a road where you can even go in the shop and buy a whiz. Today we are blessed that there are Chinese supermarkets that you can go and get something a little cheaper. And you have people are competing against each other, and you have prices that are fluctuating. At least we can still get stuff. But years ago it was worse. But it doesn't mean that we must allow ourselves as a people to be exploited by the government and businessmen too. And Freddie, let me be honest with you, a previous caller said that when you get a little money from the government, it was 4 to 10,000. Tomorrow morning, all the items are jacked up, that is honest. That is true. There's no lie about that. Tomorrow morning, everything's gone skyrocketed. So the government needs to have a price control, start taking control of the health. If you want to have an impact on the poor people when you give them a little money, you must have a control somewhere with these business entities, because we're not benefiting at the end, giving us $1,000 or $100,000. But tomorrow morning when you go, all the prices gone 3 times higher. So the $100,000 has no meaning anymore. You can't gain from it. So that is where the government needs to step in and say, here, this price range, we got to start taking control. You know, and I would appreciate if they can do that. Because let me give it a light. In Canada, the government look after old people. They pay their rent. They put people to clean their houses. And you can't raise that rent. If the government say you can't raise that rent, you can't raise that rent. It happens in Canada. You can't just go and raise your rent or raise the price.
May I ask you a question, sir? Would it be better for this?
So we in Guyana need to start at top. The government needs to start at. That's the only way you can help to cushion things for the poor people.
May I ask you one question? Is it better just to give a handout of 200,000, or is it better to systematically increase the wages or some way so they have some sustainability and some consistency?
I don't have a problem giving a handout, but I think, like you said, if we have a long-term plan that where people can benefit more, as you said, you can do food vouchers, you can do other vouchers.
Exactly.
You can raise salaries and keep have a price tag on items that you can push in the price. The prices of items in the country where it will not affect you when you raise my salary. So this is where the government is saying.
You know, one thing is important. For instance, the private sector is there, and let's take Guy Oil. Do you know if Guy Oil was not there, it's state-owned, and they control the price of fuel, and if it was the private sector alone, the price of fuel, they would shoot it up to increase their profits? And it's a good thing to have the state-owned. And that is why Chedi Jagan talked about a tri-sectoral economy. So that
definitely. Now, I'm in construction. Let me be honest with you. The government has taken away taxes on certain items. And you know that even though they have taken away, they can tell you, but the private sector jacked the price up. And every day they still keep jacking the prices up.
Exactly.
Nothing has been done about it.
That is why I made the point that these
the private sector are benefiting because
these measures benefit a certain category. For instance, you take out the tax on fuel, the particle tax on fuel, but the price for transportation hasn't fallen, so it benefits the owners of the car or the businessmen. And so the people at the bottom continue paying for the same fare. So it's not going down, it's not trickling down to the people at the bottom. So we need policies that make sense, that strategize in a way that the people at the bottom who really needs it gets it. Most of the measures, most of the money returned into the hands of Guyanese goes in the hand of the middle and upper class, and not to the lower class.
So true. I think what they need to do now is raise old age pension to $100,000 a month, because people like myself and probably Freddie, who have stood in Guyana and went through the battles, and never went away and said, well, we're going to migrate and live in. They got a lot of Guyanese living in America, living in America, living in Canada, and they're stuck. And just want to come and tell us here what to do and what not to do. I think people like us should be benefiting now, because we are blessed to be seeing money. Money's coming into our country, and we are happy for that. And I just hope that the politicians can change
It is so sad that the pensioners got $3,000. A lot of them will die soon. Give them something now so they can enjoy a little bit of their oil money, man.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
But like this callousness, man, they don't care.
Well, let's hope they can care, but at the end of the day, we can't break their hands. Right? We can't break their hands. But I hope that they can have a change of heart and make sure that the few Guyanese that are here, can really benefit from this little money, and we can have a better living for all.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. Good night.
This guy answered coming back again. I'll take you back again.
You want to take that?
Go on back.
Hello?
Good night.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Hey, good night. I just wanted to respond to that last caller there. I think he was rebutting or responding to my previous call about, tolerating people and giving their opinion. I am perfectly fine with that. The problem I have when we have hypocritical people who have damaged the psyche of the people of our country to come here and profess themselves as paragons of virtue, like Mr. Bisses are. Here he is sitting tonight again talking about all of these good things, when he had the power in his hand,
it seemed, look,
blew it up.
it seemed that you spent too much time talking about BCSR, okay?
But
Talk about issues.
Listen, if you want to be tolerant about this, I wanted to respond. You come over like you have been absent, and this is the problem with the opposition. Like, they were never involved in damaging this country. So, you know what I mean? So the caller's right. We should be tolerant, but at the same time, we got to avoid these guys who come out here on public forums to mislead and misguide people again. These guys should be shut out.
Sir, a lot of those in power right now didn't struggle at all. I struggle against the PNC government. I got licked, jail, and torture.
BCSR,
but if the PPP became corrupt, and you can't deny that.
To me.
Your presidential candidate, Dollar Ramatar, said the corruption was deep-rooted, not BCSR.
Hippie.
No, don't do that. No, you don't do that.
Wait.
No, listen to me. I struggled alongside you with the PPP.
So, please try not to be personal, right? Let's keep it intellectual.
You're just abusing me down.
Let's keep it intellectual.
That's all you're abusing me. Come on.
This is your second time around. Let's keep.
I know Mr. BCSR, he struggled with the PPP during Dr. Jagan's time. I was side by side with him. Went through Acrobat and all of this. And today you think you only made the contribution, but you have misled and you have betrayed Dr. Jagan and the PPP
corrupt.
party.
Bharat,
and you're part of it.
This PPP is not for the working class. It is for the rich and the corrupt.
Weren't you part of it?
All right,
I went against it. I criticized the corruption.
All right, this and go. Wait, no. This and going nowhere. Okay.
We got to be careful.
All right.
These are the guys. Are the guys who sent Christ to the cross.
All right, we went through this before. Can we take this call, sir?
You live overseas.
No. Can we take another call, sir? Thanks for coming through.
We got to speak up.
All right.
This guy is dangerous.
All right. Thanks for coming through. Hello?
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi. I'm just a visitor here, and I just need to make a comment. All this business about the people getting the money, and it doesn't matter what amount they get, they're never going to be pleased. So here's what. Let the government give everybody a barrel of oil, and let them refine it, and deal with it, and live off of it, because there's nothing that they are given they are ever going to be pleased with. And that's what I wanted to say tonight. That's my comment. Because my husband listens to the show all the time, and I'm sitting here listening. And it hurts me to hear these people not pleased with what they're getting, so then give them some raw oil and let them deal with it. Maybe they can drink it or something, because they ain't going to be pleased with nothing. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, madam. We'll hear from you next Friday. Okay.
Good
night. Bye. Okay, so let's see. You have a call? Let's take this call. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Professor Kissoon. Good evening to you, Mr. BCSR.
Good evening.
Yes. Before I make my contribution, I would like to just give an introductory statement asking all Guyanese or participants of this great program to keep it clean. Do not call in and abuse the two men, because these are two men that have given their life of service to the Guyanese people. I know Mr. BCSR and I know Professor Kissoon, and there's two men that come from a clean pedigree, a clean track record. So I just want to say that. Just keep it clean in respect for the two men and respect the efforts that Professor Kissoon is making to have this program being aired so that your voice or your contribution can be heard. So that's the opening. Okay. So I joined the program a bit late, and I don't know what was the central topic, but I'd like to believe that it has to do with maybe the disbursement of finance.
No, there's no topic. It's general. There's no topic, but you can speak on what you want to.
Okay. So much of the argument in the street and much of the debate over the last 2 days is centered around the $200,000 one-off cash grant. I'd like to comment a little on that. To some people, it's controversial, and to many people, it is accepted. But I'd like to remind the Guyanese people that government, a great economic professor said this, that government don't have money. And this can be fact proven. The people have money. Governments get money by putting their hands into your pockets. Government gain money through taxation, etc., etc. It is the people that have money. However, the PPP, whether they are corrupt or not, and whether some trends show that they are corrupt, is still trying to, what must I say, circulate the dollar. And yes, I agree with a lot of people, more can be done. And yes, I agree that the pensioners need to get more, but this is where lobbying comes into play. You have to lobby, you have to keep talking, you have to keep beating the drum, right? The APNU, when they were in government for 4 to almost 5 years, did they significantly increase the pensioners' package? They had a chance to do so, but they did not. And next thing, they did not try to strike a balance. They cut jobs. 10,000 CSO jobs were lost. The PPP, everyone complains infrastructure. But then notice very carefully that despite there is infrastructure, they're still trying to create a balance because the 10,000 CSO jobs was restored. Those consultations were done with the Tushao conference several years ago when they now came in, and then the 10,000 jobs was gradually restored. Then you had the part-time jobs. I can recall the VP, I'm not strongly picking up him, but I can recall at Linden when he came there. I said, listen, Chief, 800 jobs can't suffice. Eventually it moved from 600 to 1,000, from 1,000 to 1,200. No government is absolutely perfect, but what you have to hope and anticipate for is that by constant lobbying, you hope that they will listen. And from all indications and pressure, they are listening. I also want to say this, that competitive politics favors a population. If you failed in your last term, you got to regroup. You got to go back to the drawing table, as we say in cricket, and you got to look back at that plan where you failed to implement and execute and enact policies and even legislation, because society is not run only in one sector. Now, this is a government that has to keep social services running and build infrastructure at the same time. Keep social services running, run foreign service. You have to finance all the foreign envoys. You have to contribute financially to CARICOM. You have to contribute financially to agriculture. You have to contribute financially to the increase in salaries and sustain it. Then you had a backlog of debts.
May I ask a question, Speaker?
Sorry.
May I ask you a question? We're creating these jobs, like 10 days workers and all these things. And if you examine what is going on, a whole set of them will sometimes stand up and they do very little. Now, we should have job creation in a meaningful way. Now, by setting up like industries or value added. Now, if the private sector doesn't do it, to my mind, the state should do it. That's why Chedi advocated a tri-sectoral economy. The cooperative, the private sector, and the state. Now, the private sector may not invest in particular area because the profitability is not high. But a government could invest and get 3% profit or zero profit, but employs X amount of people in meaningful employment. To my mind, that is much better than just creating jobs. And then what is happening also is that it's being abused because some of the 10 days they're forced to attend certain activities and so on. That's not nice.
Yes, that's not nice.
So I am saying we're just handing out money. We need to take Borbis. Let me just finish this. Why the government cannot build a processing plant to process the produce in let's say Blackbush Polder?
Yes.
That's better.
Yes.
The farmers benefit, everybody benefit. Look, there was a project where a guy in New York was going to build a $300 million cargo facility at Timeri. That project was blocked, I'm going to say this, by Mr. Barjagdeo.
Wow.
He said that somebody told him the guy had a trucking service in New York. I was first assistant to the president. I produced a contract the man had with the JFK. When I went to New York, the man opened the door I went into. He opened another door, and I'm traveling on the tarmac of JFK, high level of clearance.
Wow.
And that project was blocked, and that would have benefited the farmers of this country.
Yes, it would have. It would have.
Look, right now, a man has $4 billion to build a refinery. To build a refinery in Berbice. That project, he's applied, he got a provisional EPA, and he's applied for the permit. While Exxon gets doing product and getting all kind of permit, this guy is not getting it. He has $4 billion for the refinery, $1 billion for Skellen Estate to produce ethanol. They're not even meeting with the guy. But they're running all over the place, Dominican Republic and all over the place. When the Arabs come in, we put a red carpet for them. This guy's a Guyanese, he's an American, he's a civil engineer. And he is not getting the permit to build the refinery. So this, because, I don't know, if the guy don't want to pay anybody bribe, and maybe that's the reason.
May I add to something that you said?
The Barbicians should not vote for them because of that refinery.
Let the guy have his... Yes, sir.
May I?
Yes, sir, go on.
So I hear all that you say, and I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it, because I too know of instances, just as what you have mentioned, that many Guyanese in Toronto, they produce plans, they produce proposals, and they were not given the open door support, as what Go Invest would say. Mr. Ramsey would always say that they're accommodative. But then fact-checking, it shows that you're accommodative, but you're selectively accommodative, which is what you're saying, and there's facts to back that up too. So here's another thing as well, not deviating from that, but to supplement that as well. Here's another thing. I am against them on this aspect, a land distribution policy, and I mentioned this on the last program, but I didn't deal with it in depth. Guyana's land distribution policy definitely needs to be reviewed. I'll give you a quick example. You spoke that there's a red carpet rollout to the Arabs. Absolutely true. Let me move that idiom over to land distribution. When the Chinese come, they are quickly being accommodated. They're quickly being processed for the acquisition of land. And then there's a backlog of Guyanese resident in Guyana.
Waiting 3 and 4 years.
For 20, 25 years, just for 5 acres of land.
Exactly, that's fact.
And the government continues to say, oh, we want to ramp up food production. Now, many people want to acquire land, but many of them want to acquire land for the purpose of their own infrastructure, supermarkets, etc. It is the small man that wants to grow food or rear animals. We refer to them in history as the peasants. It's a small farmers. But then how do you give them that boot start?
Okay, so that's it.
Land, my minutes is going to finish anytime, so I'm going to wrap up very quickly. So they definitely need to look at that. So if you're influenced, but don't give up. You have to keep speaking, you have to keep lobbying, and you have a good partner there with you, Professor Kissoon. I must compliment you both for the great work that you're doing. I'll call back on Friday. Thank you so much.
Thanks. If our operators listen to us, the monitor is gone. Could you fix the monitor? Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Been listening to you all for a little bit there. This question of the oil refinery, it is not feasible. Oil has a very limited time left. According to the International Energy Agency, they're looking to start shutting down around the year 2035, which is another 11 years from now. So any kind of refinery will be a stranded asset. The foreigners have already told, the exam people have already told the government it's nonsense. So even if you had a refinery, where are you going to get the oil from? Who? From where?
Well, let me tell you.
Let him finish.
I will answer.
The
government of Ghana does not have a national oil company. The government of Ghana has no say in the oil that's being, the crude oil that's being produced out of Liza 1, 2, Payara. All that oil comes out as crude oil and it goes straight to the United States of America into the ExxonMobil refineries. Right? So many people think I don't know how over the last 7 or 8 years I've been hearing this time, going to all these conferences.
May I respond to you, sir? The fact of the matter is the government itself put out proposal for interest to build a refinery. Therefore, the government believes the private sector is saying the private sector should build a refinery. So the government is not opposed. Secondly, the same gentleman I'm talking about started this process way before Guyana discovered oil, and he was going to get his oil from Glencore, etc. And let me indicate to you, St. Croix does not have oil, they had refinery. Australia purchased crude from all over the world to process. Right now, Exxon is increasing its refinery by about 100 or something thousand barrels. So the point is, this is a private sector venture. The government is not putting a cent into it. And if the private sector wants to do it, let them do it. They must know what they're doing.
How are you getting the oil into the Berbice River? Is it very
Listen. I'll answer you. The Palmyra area have access to the Berbice River and also to the Atlantic Ocean. And there are a system of buoys and that you use to bring it from ashore to the thing. The gentleman who is doing it happens to be a brilliant, experienced civil engineer with tremendous experience in St. Croix and many areas of refinery. And so you can use buoys and the ship will be out there and you use pipes to bring it in, okay?
Yeah, I still don't think.
I wrote letters in the press about it.
Are you talking about Cipriani?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote letters about it. When Haas
Who's this guy? My name's Cipriani.
When Mr. Haas said that it's going to cost so much for a refinery, I wrote a letter in the press challenging him, and he couldn't respond. The fact is, we're not going to build stick refinery. We have modular refineries now, which is prefabricated. You bring it and you put it in place. And let me indicate to you, they can't get rid of fossil oil for just now, sir. They will not be able to get rid of fossil oil for just now.
So we got to...
the problem is if you continue with fossilized fuels, right, you won't be able to live in Guyana. You would roast to death.
Well, the reality is...
We are on the verge of roasted to death.
I will say this to you.
We got to go.
Production for profit.
Every day the heat index is over 100 degrees.
You know what is causing it? Production for profit. In other words, we keep producing and producing because to increase profit. So production is what is pushing the climate change.
We got to go. Thanks for coming through, sir. Let's take one more call because our time is up. People must be calling. So I'll count, I normally do 1 to 10. And if there's no call, that's it. We got to observe the rights of our workers. The operators have to go home. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a call. There's a call.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming through.
Good. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. Thanks for being with us. This has been our Friday calling edition. Sharing the platform with me. Sharing the platform with me has been with Ginger Bissessar. It was quite an interesting night. We can't take any more calls. Our operators have to go home. Our program has come to an end. We are 2 minutes beyond time. One last call. We are 2 minutes above time. Our operators have to go. Briefly, sir, madam.
Yes, Mr. Kissoon. We got, with this limited population, we got 800,000 people. And we talking about all this business and all these things. We got.
So come to the point quick.
We got the population for take off all of these.
We're 3 minutes over time.
No more time. We got the population for take off all of these businesses.
Okay, sir. Thanks for coming through. Next week. Thanks for being with us. We are 3 minutes over time. We have to respect, as I said, the past 2 years, respect the industrial rights of our operators. It's 3 minutes past 10 and they have to go home. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for Ginger Bissessar for sharing the platform with me. Either Charandas Prasad or Dharam Kumar Siraj will co-host the program with me next Friday. So thanks for being with us. We have an interesting, iconic guest on Monday, a man who's quite admired in Guyana, neither PNC or PPP or political. That's our guest on Monday. I'm not going to tell you his name. But thanks for being with us once again. On behalf of Virginia Bissessar and our hardworking operator team, have a pleasant weekend. Catch you later. Bye-bye.